I'm Paul Sims, and I'm here with
Khandi Alexander.
And Stephen Root, and we're here to introduce Tom Cherones' second episode that he directed.
And I'm Tom Cherones.
There he is.
Tommy.
And that's him. So were you surprised that we brought you back after the first one, Tom?
Were you frightened and afraid?
Actually, I wasn't, because you contracted for two
Did I?
to start with.
See,
So I really had no choice.
Well, you
Smart,
could have
Tommy.
fired me,
Well,
but
thank God you worked out good.
yeah,
Khandi, do you remember in season 2, for the first until we got Tom, we had a different director
We had
just about
guys
every week.
just
Every
different
single
guys. It was
week.
unbelievable.
Did that make it difficult for you as an actress?
Well, I tell you, my favorite thing, especially about this episode, was after the table read, Tom came over to me and he said, "What did you do to Paul Sims?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Oh, honey, you did something. They're dumping a bucket of water on your head." I was paranoid this entire week. It's like, what did I do, Paul? What did I do?
Nah.
I bonded with Tom immediately after that.
I remember the fight because this episode is about Jimmy playing April Fool's pranks on everyone. But I remember when we were writing it, the way we'd always talk about it is, Jimmy's got, billions of dollars.
Yeah.
This is a man who can afford to go to any length to do incredible practical jokes. And then sort of the way it ended up, it was just people dumping stuff on people's heads. I don't think any of his practical jokes ended up being very elaborate or clever. But
my character was always either an idiot or an idiot savant. One of the two. I don't know who this is. A very colorful costume on there.
I also remember this was around the Ally McBeal time.
Yeah.
And once we all stand up, the skirts were so short.
Oh, yeah.
This was one of the episodes where we kind of took over from them and said, "No, we originated that." No.
Look at this baby.
so this was 218. So this is 18 episodes into season 2. Still a few extras in the background.
Morris' hair is shorter.
Morris'
Yeah,
hair
it looks
short.
pretty good,
Yeah,
Tom.
no, it looks good. Well, she just did a movie, I think, at that point.
I just got a new wig in this one, too.
Really?
Yeah, I got over the Oprah thing. I had going on that Oprah thing that first season.
Oh, I remember that. That was a great bit.
Yeah, that's when we were
Because we did that every show, didn't we? With
Yeah,
Andy
yeah.
falling some way for
falling
a long
or
time.
having some kind of mishap.
Yeah.
That was good
To the
stuff.
point that the network said stop ending.
That's enough of
Stop
that.
ending the cold opening every time with that.
It was always funny.
It was good.
It was always funny to us. Khandi, what was before NewsRadio? What was the last previous acting TV job you'd done?
Oh, yeah, I'd
I
like
was
to know
doing
that.
ER.
Oh, that's right.
right.
I was doing ER.
And you still did ER while you were at NewsRadio,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It
Still
was,
went and did a few episodes.
it's really funny.
Oh, yeah, you
Was
do
it-
both at the same
You-
time. I forgot.
Yeah, I would cry all
Yeah,
day
yeah,
and then
yeah,
laugh
They
all
kept
night.
laughing all night, have a good time.
Like, okay, it's good.
Oh, that's funny, yeah.
And now you're back on single camera drama. So which do you like better, live audience or single camera?
I like your writing.
Oh,
I like your writing, Paul. I don't care if it's an hour, half hour. You don't appreciate a great writer until you kind of go through a couple of the other kind.
Oh, we had Sam and Chris wrote on this.
Yeah,
Is this
this was the first episode that Sam and Chris wrote on. They'd been working at Beavis and Butthead, which I loved, and I met them. And I think my interview with them was probably just about as long as my interview with Tom was.
I just did one of the last Frasers with them.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. They're
They went on to success, the boys did.
another set that went on to success, and
Yes.
then I guess still 18 episodes in, we're still trying to make the gum thing work with Vicky here.
But you got to take a look at her skirt. I'm telling you.
But her hair's getting less ringlets and more straighter until
That's
finally
right.
at the end of the show it was totally straight.
Yeah, it's looking good.
It does.
Looking good.
Dave's
Dave?
hair is less red than it was in the other.
Yeah.
As if a child I am, okay, Yoda?
There we go, Vicky.
Jimmy, this is Scott Parker from the Wall Street Journal.
No comment.
Bill, you got
And Phil always looked good.
Oh, Phil always looked
He
great.
did,
always look
and he went
good.
through a bunch of different looks.
He did. His hair would change and his glasses would change.
It's got this whole deal going on.
It doesn't.
There we
Look
go.
at that,
How short
honey.
can we
Whoa,
get, baby?
Come on
Jeepers.
in.
Move over, Callista.
I find that neckline a little too high for my taste, but okay.
Well, we took care of that in the
Yeah.
later episodes, so we didn't have to worry about
corrected
that so much.
problem.
Did we do that a couple of times? Honey? It was at least twice we
Paul
did.
kept telling me, do it again, do it again.
Oh my God.
In those first 2 seasons, we writing-wise, we really did neglect your character. So I thought you needed, a good big laugh.
Hey,
there.
thanks, Annie.
Thanks, honey. Just drop water on me.
And Phil loved it.
Mostly you just slap me and Phil every once in a while.
It was good, but I'll tell you something else funny that happened during this episode. Phil and I were in the booth, and I was just so upset about having to do so many
Yeah.
takes. And out of nowhere, he just starts going, Old Man River. It's so weird. And I was crying.
Oh, that's so
I'm
funny.
gonna kill you.
You probably just even like in being in the background in the booth. You spent a lot of time with Phil in
Yeah.
the booth.
Yeah.
And what would you guys talk about up there? Because you were sort of
Yeah, you guys
when you
were
were just
in there
in the
by
background, you
yourselves
were
for
just
a
sort of
long
isolated.
time.
We had our own show going on.
I'll
up there.
bet.
Phil would kind of write out or give me like a little improv thing that we would do, and then I would go off script, and he'd get mad, and we'd yell at each other in character, and
I remember every time I went up there, Phil would have like flight plans for his airplane hobby or nautical charts for his, boating or some other weird technical manual that he was memorizing.
He had this whole
Yeah.
other life going
Well,
on.
wasn't
there.
he learning to fly at that point?
He was learning to
wasn't
fly,
Yeah,
and he had a
pilot.
boat, and
Yeah.
His
he was a
pilot
man of
license.
many hobbies and interests.
Yeah.
Oh, that wouldn't be possible.
Tom, you said, what is this? Tom Posey?
John
John Posey.
Posey.
Yeah, no, Johnny Posey. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very good. He was very brave in this in this episode.
And the ultimate conclusion.
Hey.
He was great too.
All these special effects were very high tech. Kent had the special effects guy up in the rafters with a balloon full of slime or water and a nail on a stick. At the right time, he would poke it, and that's how we did that.
Very high tech stuff.
Big budget.
Big budget, yeah.
Well, Kent was the production manager too, so he wasn't going to spend any more than he had to.
P.S. If I did give this to you, disregard above.
We worked here for years.
Oh, yeah, this is the story where she's cleaning out the desk of the guy who left, and she falls
That's
in
right.
love with him.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
I remember that.
He had a copy of my favorite book in the top drawer of his desk, and the passages that he underlined are my favorite parts.
Boy, we hit a lull in our commentary.
We did.
boy.
But we started watching the show. That happens occasionally.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
guess.
right.
Show's good. Show's good.
Candy, what was your favorite part of the week, of the work week, and your least favorite part?
My favorite part was the night that we would film because we had a live band, and we always had a great band, and it was like a party. It really was a party, and we were smoking all over stage, so, we were having the best time.
It was so loose. So
It really
loose
was.
and fun.
It was so comfortable. It was many people wanted to come to our tapings because they
because
knew
it was a party.
It was a big party.
Yeah.
Everyone hung out. And my least favorite would be any day that I was stuck in my trailer that Andy didn't have a lot to do. Because he'd come to my room and it just, I remember he got the flu once and he came to my room.
Oh,
And
it
I
took
had-
off on you.
Took off on me.
Yes.
I remember I was in rehearsal and I
baby.
came out and there he was in my bed under the covers.
But Andy was a bit of a
Why are you in my
hypochondriac
room?
almost all the time, though. He always was a hypochondriac.
Remember when he ate the carrots and he started turning
Well-
orange?
Well, the whole story about the garlic was what you turned into a show between him and Joe being mad at each other. as
Oh,
I
that's
recall.
right.
I mean, almost everything we did on the set got turned into a show eventually.
That is
somehow.
true.
Yeah, it is.
It's very scary, Paul. I think I read that in a book about showrunners, and they talked to you a lot, and they said that was one of the things that
But
you could be
we
certain
did,
of.
yeah. Whenever there was some strange thing going on between a couple of people on set, it would show up in the show.
Or the network.
Yeah,
Or the
Yeah,
network
or-
and Paul.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like-
exactly.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask you if you might enjoy a salted nut.
Trying to get on the April Fool's act, huh? I hope open a knob, snake flies out, pops you in the head?
No, nuts. They're
Very
nuts.
funny, very funny.
Okay, yeah.
Just good guess. You know, you got to be careful though. Sometimes they mess up and put a real can of nuts in with the joke can.
No, really?
It really tests the limits of how unintelligent he can be.
There we go.
Cool. I got one of the good ones.
Now, Khandi, you joined the show in the second episode. You weren't in the pilot. And I'm trying to remember now, did you audition or did
Paul, yes, I auditioned.
you got the job? I'm sorry I don't remember the audition. Where was
He's
it? Was it
old
when we
now.
were
He
over
doesn't
in-
remember.
Sunset Gower. I had a couple of auditions. My first one was at Sunset Gower.
Oh, so now Matthew is more
I love that place.
I know you loved it because you could keep your dogs there.
No.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
is
like
that what
only
it
reason
was?
we were
I felt
there.
like if you're going to make a TV
Crazy.
show, you should be in Hollywood.
Yeah,
I
we
just
were in Hollywood.
We were
honey.
definitely in Hollywood.
Well, that was
Hollywood.
what, Desi Lou? Was that
No,
Desi?
that was the second one we went
Renmar.
to.
Oh, okay, Renmar
was the old
Desi Lou.
Desi Lou
Okay.
Oh,
Studios.
Renhar, I remember
I
that
forgot
one, too.
Renmar.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul, you had me audition a lot. I jumped through a lot of hoops.
And it all worked out.
It all worked out. I'm not complaining. And I remember when we finally got down to Brillston Gray right before the network, and Phil came in to read with me.
Oh, how great.
And I had worked with Phil twice before. And I knew as soon as I saw him, I said, oh, this is mine.
This is it.
Nah, this
I got
is
this.
I'm a,
Uncle Phil.
yeah, Uncle Phil.
When did you work with Phil before?
I did a movie called Greedy with Phil, and the
Yeah.
movie called, I hate to mention it because someone might rent it. I just
Go ahead.
CB4 with Chris
Oh.
Rock.
That wasn't such a bad movie.
Those are not my breasts. That was a body double, okay? Just let you know now.
Now we know.
Okay.
I have got to go back and rent that.
Oh,
And weren't you
no.
weren't you in some music videos also before all this?
Thanks, Paul.
No.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait, we got to get back to this for a minute. So the whole thing was Jimmy James dumped me with this bucket
With
of
the
water.
bucket of water.
So
yeah.
I could get this fabulous designer dress.
It's
And then,
fantastic,
look,
too.
This is like the Pointer Sisters. Look at this dress. I'm holding out for Versace, and she comes in with this dress, and I just went ballistic. I was like, I get dumped in a bucket of water, and I don't even get a great dress. This is what I get. Oh, I went to kill her.
It looks. Tom, why didn't you come around on a more frontal angle for this
Yeah,
shot?
well,
There we go.
There you go.
Thank you.
Tom.
And that
Come on,
is the
man.
mark of a good director.
There was a shot all the time.
What, did we have to hold that up for product placement? There's cigarettes.
Oh, the
and
Marlboro.
Sprite. There's all kinds of product stuff in
Yeah,
there.
but if you look at them all closely, they're all fake. And
Ah.
Oh,
Nothing
speaking of
fake about that.
The guy's a freak just for keeping so much crap in his desk.
I know. You know what? I've got to talk to him about being neater, and I will. But you know what?
You were in a
I'm
David
sorry.
Bowie video, weren't you?
Yes.
Were you really? Which one, honey? Which one were you in?
I don't remember.
All right. Okay.
David Bowie in Excess. I did a Stones video.
Wow.
Oh, God.
How cool is
It was
that?
the 80s. It wasn't my fault. I was young. I needed the money.
Settle this New Hampshire thing right now. Matthew, fairly and objectively.
How long had you lived in L.A. at this point that we were doing News Radio?
It's funny. I had, I think about maybe about a year because I had been touring with Whitney. And
Before-
that
right
tour-
before this?
Right before, and then
Okay.
I got an ER, and then right after I
Right.
got ER, this came up.
Yeah, this was about 3 years into me being in LA. Because I'd been in New York for 10 years before that, doing only stage and a couple of movies, and then came out here and was a TV boy for, 3 years before I got Hearts of the West with Bo Bridges.
That's right.
And then
right,
and this was
Steve.
the one right after that.
You know, I just think the cast on this show is just
There's
impeccable, just impeccably cast.
You
Every single
wanted to come to
person.
work every day because everybody was so funny. Everybody wrote for everybody
That's
else,
right.
and it was the best working condition. I'm so
Yes.
spoiled
Yes.
because you're never going to get it.
I'm going to tell you that the real reason for that was, and I've worked a lot of different shows, is Paul Sims.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
Paul-
I
No
give that all to
question.
Paul.
He respected everybody's job and
That's
what
right.
everybody did and listened to us.
Yep. Yeah.
That was the most enjoyable time I ever had.
Me too. Easily.
Me too.
I'm not signing your paychecks anymore. You guys don't have to talk that way.
I love you.
I'm still getting paychecks from this show.
Oh, in that case, keep it up. Come on, let's hear more about how wonderful I am.
Hey, do I get a free DVD?
We might be able
bet.
to work something out. You know.
Depends on what dress you're going to wear in the next scene, I think, really.
Get a free DVD. But I still think it holds up so well.
Yeah, I forget. I have a bad memory, so I always, when I watch these episodes now, it's like seeing them for the first time.
Yeah, I've seen them for a while. And like we were saying earlier that they're on Biography Channel now as we speak. Yeah, and that's a strange place for them to end up, but that's where they are at the moment.
On Biography Channel.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Khandi, I feel like it took us a while to figure out what your character was and how to write for it. Yeah. Not because of you, but because of us as writers. Because we didn't really have a lot of black women on the writing staff.
So let's say none.
It was a bunch of 27-year-old white guys trying to figure out what to do.
Who is this woman?
It was, but it must have been sort of frustrating, especially during these first 2 seasons.
Well, you know, I tell you, Paul, having Phil, because Phil kind of threw me a lot of stuff. You know, sometimes Phil would just, I don't know if he went to you or whoever he'd go to and just say, you know, I don't need this line. This probably works better coming out of her. That was really great. And I remember one time in particular, you actually came up to me on the set and you said, Khandi, would a black woman say this? And I said, you know, Paul, I don't know, honey, but Pearl Bailey would say it. And the spirit of Pearl lives in me. And Maura looked at you and she said, and honey, the spirit of Pearl Bailey lives in me too. And you were so frustrated with us, you just stormed away. And we laughed so hard.
That is funny.
Oh, that's good.
It was just, you know, it's just a group of people that just loved each other. It's a good thing. But I think for me, especially at a certain time, it became more frustrating. But during this time in particular, this was a joy because it was so about working with everyone else.
Yeah, it was such an ensemble.
Having a good time, wearing those really short skirts and a lot of makeup. It was just good. It was good
I do
stuff.
sometimes think if I had to do it all over again, I might have had one fewer character. But I
Oh
don't
my
know,
God, I
but-
would have gotten fired?
No, that's not what I mean. I mean,
Me? You want to get rid of me?
all right, Stephen, I can admit it now.
All right,
Very
that's
funny.
fine. I don't.
But when I think about it, I don't know which one. But if someone had told me before I even wrote the pilot,
You're gonna have 7
it'll be
characters.
easier to have 7 than
Yeah.
8, and I'd listened to the advice, it might have helped. But then I wouldn't have had
We
these 8
wouldn't have had
people.
this.
That's right. You would have never met Joe.
Yeah, that's true. But it did get hard. I mean, 8
That's a
8
lot.
storylines. I
Yeah,
know, it's
you
tough.
know, 8
but what was
characters.
good was
That's a lot.
every character and every person could act with anybody else and be funny.
Yes.
You know, Vicky could be funny with me, Vicky could be
Yes.
funny with Dave,
That's
da-da-da,
right.
and you could be funny with me, and I could be
That's
funny
right.
with da-da-da.
Yep.
And there wasn't any chemistry combination that didn't work, I don't think. You know?
But it has to be hard to write for that many people.
Yeah, it has to be.
It is because you also start then feeling bad about, you finish a script and you go, oh, holy cow, Vicky only has 2 lines in this episode,
Well, you got 20 minutes to play with.
Yeah,
what are we going to
it's not a
do?
lot of time.
And
well,
you can't
22
tell an
at
actor
time.
that, you know?
Yeah.
You can't tell
Yeah, I
an
know.
actor.
That's,
It's like, what
yeah,
are
that
you talking
explanation doesn't
about?
usually work very well.
She must have really sexed you up during your lunch break. This is when everyone knew they were having an affair?
Yeah.
Remember smart women on television? Where are they?
That's right.
Come on.
They're gone.
You know?
They're gone. Everybody's a mother now.
Yeah.
Everybody has kids.
Everybody has
I
kids.
like that dress.
I hate that dress, Paul.
You're overruled, Khandi.
Oh, I'm overruled. The things Donatella could have done.
Yes, radio broadcasting is taught.
Is this it?
Yeah, I think this is
it?
him. He's going to do his thing, Johnny is, which is great.
I remember maybe being a little frustrated with trying to get this chair special effect to work.
Was that
I don't
Josh?
remember
Was that Josh?
It might have
It might have been Josh
I think
Lee,
it was
one of our
Josh.
writers. Yes, I
do
believe
not
it was.
remember that at all. Or that.
Yes.
We had several of our writers come in.
Oh, yeah, remember the chair? Okay.
Mr. McNeil, you're hovering 6 feet in the air. Yes, you are.
Oh, you mean the chair? I see. It's a special radio chair.
I must say, you're the most unflappable journalist I've ever met.
Really?
You can't fool me. I mean, something's going on around here, but it's not getting to you.
All right, I admit it. The man who owns this station is something of a practical
Now we're just watching the
joker.
episode.
Yes, but I like doing that occasionally.
Him. I just got here.
I
haven't
know.
seen-
But we get this will be fun to see these on DVD.
Like, wait a minute, I haven't seen this.
What do you want?
Good.
Have brooding with glasses, brooding without glasses, happy with glasses, happy without.
I think we're all just waiting for the big.
We are.
Yeah, we're waiting
big
for
reveal.
Johnny.
I want to see Johnny go.
Stephen, what are you doing in the back?
There's no telling.
Was that make believe?
Hey!
Yeah, it was make believe.
It wasn't just you, Candy. I was, we were spreading it out.
Hey, I remember he did one take. I know, he's a star again.
Cretins, try as you might, nobody makes a fool of Bill McNeil.
Well, I gotta hand it to you, Bill. You were like a rock. I can't believe you held it together like that.
Yes,
I gotta say, I love that dress.
Invested by the master.
Hello, Jackie. McNeil. Send all my photos over to the Wall Street Journal. That's right.
Oh, Mr. McNeil, one more question.
Okay, here we go.
Sure. What is it, son?
Is it warm in here?
Oh,
Excuse me?
Because I'm feeling kind of hot.
Great job.
You got me. Kudos. Mark my words. I will get you back for this. I will have my revenge.
Kudos.
that.
Everyone's
Kudos.
always saying kudos to each other.
Kudos to you, sir.
I wondered what I'd gotten myself into.
Oh, I've forgotten the kudos. Kudos was in a lot of episodes.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
kudos and kudos again.
that's
right.
Kudos again. And good time.
Good
Good
times.
times.
Good times.
Good
That's right.
times.
That's right.
So, Tom, after finishing your second episode, did you feel good? Did you feel like we liked you?
Well, nobody poured any green slime on my head, so I felt okay. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
You must have been able to sense the relief we had at finding someone who could direct.
Well, when you hired me again, I kind of felt that you liked me, so.
Oh, that's good.
And and I'm thrilled you did.
Very funny, Tommy.
We can talk
Very
over the
good, Tom.
credits.
You know,
Okay.
I was telling Tom that when I was watching the Seinfeld reruns now, I realized he directed some of my favorite Seinfeld
Oh,
shows.
yeah, you did it for 5
which
years.
I didn't know at the
Oh,
time
yeah.
I worked with him. I was sitting at home going, oh my God, that's Tommy Cherones.
I didn't know you did 5 seasons of that.
Yeah, I
Long-
did.
Yeah.
And that's the end.
End of the show.
Kudos.
Kudos.
Kudos again.